Vice President Kashim Shettima on Tuesday inaugurated a 37-man tripartite committee on national minimum wage with a mandate to recommend a new national minimum wage for the country. The inauguration by the committee, led by former head of civil service of the Federation, Bokar Aji, took place at the Council Chamber, Presidential Villa, State House, Abuja. The Vice President said the event reaffirmed the promise of the Tinubu administration to improve the welfare of Nigerian workers. He urged the committee to fulfill the conditions of genuine dialogue and engage in collective bargaining in good faith. Shettima, who reminded them of the significance of the submission of their report, said President Tinubu had directed the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, to support the committee with the needed logistics to facilitate timely completion of the exercise. He said decisions would be presented as an executive bill which would be sent to the National Assembly. According to Transparency International, Nigeria scored 25 out of 100 points in the 2023 Corruption Perception Index, compared to 24 points in the 2022 Corruption Perception Index, while Nigeria ranks 145 out of 180 countries compared to 150 on the 2022 CPI results. Nigeria's score is below the sub-Saharan African average of 33 points. In this report, Trustee vs. Newell Sampson speaks to stakeholders on the 2023 CPI ratings, its impact on Nigeria, and how the war against corruption can be won.
It ranks 180 countries and territories by their perceived level of public sector corruption, according to experts and business people. It relies on 13 independent data sources and uses a scale of 0 to 100, where 0 is highly corrupt and 100 is very clean. The index has been an annual source of friction between government officials and Transparency International. Although governments often see the index as skewed and biased, it however places a burden on such governments to addressing the menace, even as many question the transparency of the index.
There was a validation from different independent organizations to see the method that being used, and all of them, they have come to conclusion that this is a good methodology to measure public sector corruption.
The sources, that carry out this corruption perception index are credible sources across the world. There are even organizations that Nigeria engages with. We talk about the World Bank, we talk about the World Justice Forum. So these are sources that are credible globally. We talked about the audits that have been done on these sources and confirmed that they are credible sources.
Nigeria has battled with the menace of corruption despite the existence of anti-corruption bodies charged with the responsibility of fighting the menace. This has left many wondering if the corruption can be tamed or it has become part of our everyday lives.
We all have responsibility as Nigerians, but of course the government must provide the leadership, the government must provide the environments for the corruption to be defeated. For example, we have supported government to develop national strategy to fight corruption. That document has not been operationalized. If it has been operationalized, everyone in this country will have a role to play in order to defeat corruption. But we are not making use of that important document where every Nigerian will have a role to play to minimize corruption.
Strength of the civil society and media, that they are able to be given a space to really advocate for transparency and accountability. And so there are efforts that are being made both by state and non-state stakeholders in tackling corruption in Nigeria. It is not a hopeless situation. It is something that will continue to work on.
We have to have strong institutions that will enforce all our laws, our Money Laundering Prohibition Act, you have the ICPC, the CCB. Of course, you have the Conduct Bureau, which if they are working effectively, most of the corruption cases will not be here because they ensure that all asset people declare their assets, before they enter office, and when they leave office and they do their investigation properly, you find that a lot of this corruption will be prevented.
Corruption increases inequality, decreases popular accountability and political responsiveness, and thus produces rising frustration and hardship among citizens, who are then more likely to accept or even demand hard-handed or illiberal tactics. This is why many believe the menace must be tackled head-on. Well, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And on to security matters. No fewer than 6 children, 3 teachers and a bus driver have been kidnapped in Emure Ekiti State. The incident occurred on Monday evening while the school bus was conveying the children to Ekboro Ekiti. It was gathered that the incident occurred at the same time bandits attacked a vehicle conveying 3 traditional rulers between Oke Ako and Ikpao Ekiti in Ajani local government area of the state. The gunmen were said to have ambushed the school bus carrying the pupils from a private nursery school back home at about 5 p.m. In the meantime, the Ekiti state government has confirmed the abduction and vowed to ensure the victims are rescued. Still on security matters, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has implored President Bola Ahmed Tinubu not to shy away from making tough decisions that will help address the rise in insecurity in the country. The Speaker stated this on Tuesday during his remarks at the resumption of plenary after Christmas and New Year holidays. The Speaker noted the murder of over 30 people in Plateau State, as well as many others who have fallen victim to the mindless acts of terrorists in the last few weeks. He challenged the president to rise to this occasion and demonstrate the indomitable spirit for which he is known by doing more to safeguard the lives and property of Nigerians.
The time has come to think out of the box and adopt new and contemporary strategies that better respond to the complexities of our current challenges. To our patriotic and brave security forces, while commending your heroism and sacrifice, the time has come for you to review your approaches and strategies, innovate and adapt. The enemy evolves, and so must we. I challenge you to rise to this occasion to demonstrate the indomitable spirit for which you are known, and to do more in safeguarding the lives and properties of our people. In these trying times, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has exhibited exemplary leadership and a proactive approach. His recent interventions and directives for more action by security agencies are timely and reflective of his deep-seated resolve to restore peace and order.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has asked President Tinubu to resign if unable to address the security challenges that have plagued the nation in the not-too-distant past. Atiku, who lost to Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election, accused the president of playing fiddle while the country is drowning in insecurity. Writing on his X, formerly Twitter handle, Atiku wondered why the commander-in-chief is on a private visit while kidnappers are on a killing spree across the nation. President Tinubu came to office last year, vowing to tackle Nigeria's insecurity, including terrorists in the northeast, criminal militias in the northwest, and a flare-up of intercommunal violence in central states. But critics say the kidnapping crisis, one of the issues affecting the country, is out of control. The president said he plans to address the root causes of the violence through education. More on security matters. The new theater commander of Operation Hadin Kai, Major General Waheed Shoaibu, says he will prioritize tackling the menace of IED explosions in Borno State. Shoaibu disclosed this at the handing over ceremony of the outgoing theater commander at the Mai Malari cantonment in Maiduguri. He added that military operations in the theater will be enhanced for effectiveness to ensure more successes in the fight against terrorism. Meanwhile, the outgoing theater commander appreciated the troops of Operation Hadin Kai for the support accorded him at the war front and charged them to extend same cooperation to the new theatre commander.
Your support has been key to both the kinetic efforts we made and the non-kinetic actions also undertaken that led to the surrender of several terrorists across the theater. I therefore enjoin you to extend same to my successor to keep the momentum on.
My role basically is to galvanize the officers and men to ensure that we get the mandate of Operation Hardin Care. So we will just go ahead with the mandate, their ongoing operations. We'll also enhance it and ensure that officers and men do what they're supposed to do.
We'll take it away from Borno now to Kano State. Doctors at the Murtala Mohammed Specialist Hospital in Kano have resumed operation nearly 48 hours after an incident involving one of their members. Chairman of the Medical and Health Workers Union of the hospital said although their member, who was badly beaten, is still in the hospital, they, however, decided to temporarily return to work, pending investigation into the incident. Few days ago, a pregnant woman was said to have died during prolonged labor, believed to have been caused by doctors' negligence in the hospital, an allegation the medical workers denied and subsequently shut down the hospital, as the doctor involved was badly beaten by relatives of the woman in question.
You
see, our member that was badly beaten is still recovering from the injury sustained. But we have decided to temporarily reopen the hospital to continue operation because, as you can see, we cannot continue to stand while patients keeps on coming. It doesn't speak well of us. That is why we decided to open the hospital and continue operation, but temporarily, because we are demanding a thorough investigation and arrest of the people who actually beat our member. We will not allow it to just go like that. So that's why we choose to open the hospital again and continue operation.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up in part 2. Despite northern pushback, CBN redeploys 1,500 staff to Lagos operations. Details of this story and more to come after the break. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying. But if you're just joining us, this is the Trust TV News Update. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that Vice President Shettima inaugurates minimum wage tripartite committee in Abuja. Plus, Nigeria doing better in the fight against corruption according to latest ranking. And now moving on to more news. A man and his pregnant wife have survived a near-death experience when a federal road safety official vehicle rammed into their car in Abuja during a high-speed chase. The Tuesday morning incident drew crowds who faulted the conduct of the road safety officials for high-handedness.
I was coming with my wife this morning, then road safety are always on this road, so there was a car in front of me that was a red car, but I don't remember the brand of the car, was in front of me. We were trying to stop the car, then the car moved. So because the road safety driver has already moved his car already like this, so the momentum he had on him already, he could not press the brake. So me that I was behind the car, he hit my car, so that was how he hit my car. Me and my wife came here, head bags. My wife hit her head on, she's pregnant, she's like 7 months gone. So I was just lucky that she's going to the hospital. So they hit us. All my car, everything has been scattered. My engine, everything is gone. My glass, everything is scattered.
So what are the road safety about it now?
They were about to run away. Luckily for somebody, this man that had a Hilux car that blocked them.
The man was coming with speed. I don't know what really happened actually. So the man, I saw, but all I saw, I heard road safety hit this man from the side like this. It's coming from this way. He hit him from the side. So when he hit him, I find out that they want to start. All of them enter inside their vehicle. They want to start. They want to turn and go back to Use. So I have to use my truck to block them. This truck, yeah, that Tacoma there. Okay. So I use that Tacoma there to block them, to block the distance. So that's what I saw. Then when I came out, when I dragged this woman out, I found that, yeah, I saw the woman heavily pregnant, one heavily pregnant woman. So I think it's the woman that hit her head here.
At least 1,500 members of staff of the Central Bank of Nigeria will on Friday resume at its Lagos office following their redeployment from the headquarters. A source at the Apex Bank said the plan, though heavily criticized, was still in motion, with affected staffers expected to resume on Friday. The latest development comes on the backdrop of the decision of the new management to relocate some of CBN's departments to the country's economic hub for staff safety, increased productivity, and to decongest its head office. CBN said the action was necessitated by several factors, including the need to align the bank structure with its function and objectives and redistribute skills to ensure a more even geographical spread of talent. It added that it was also in compliance with building regulations as indicated by repeated warnings from the facility manager and the findings and recommendations of the Committee on Decongestion of the CBN head office. The federal government's proposal to relocate the Department of Banking Supervision and the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria to Lagos has continued to generate conflicting views amongst Nigerians. Trustee Vice Chiamaka Enendu examines the economic implications of these decisions by the federal government in the face of criticisms from some quarters. Let's take a look at her report.
Supporters of the relocation move say it will boost ease of doing business and improve efficiency and productivity, while those against the policy argue that the relocation poses a disadvantage to some regions in the country. With almost all the banks headquartered in Lagos apart from Jais Bank and the busiest airports for domestic, private and international flights in Lagos, Professor of Strategic Management and Human Capital Development, Oke Ikechukwu, is of the opinion that the development is a welcome one, adding that the debate around the policy is a distraction from pressing issues.
There is no political element that you'll see in this except from the angle of those who think that the spatial location of institutions of state translates into advantages for that section of the country. That's, first of all, a fundamental misunderstanding. If anybody wants to complain really about spatial location and the disadvantages being suffered by anybody, we'll ask ourselves, how many military formations and installations are in the north? Is it benefiting security in the north? Is that not where the bulk of the kidnapping and the rest of it is going?
While refuting concerns about sending the wrong signals to investors on the state of security in the Abuja metropolis, he is of the opinion that this decision will rather strengthen investors' confidence.
If I'm a foreign investor, it will assure me, it will reassure me. The fine airport, the airport is in Lagos, the business capital is Lagos. Now, you say he's giving signals. The signals are not coming from government. Bandits have taken over Abuja completely. So this will even be proof of sensitivity. First, realism that, look, these things don't have to be here. Secondly, what you call economies of scale and gains from the decisions would be good. So if you're talking security, and I'm a foreign investor, and I'm coming into Nigeria, I'm in the banking sector, and the capital that ought to be safest is under pressure. Kidnapping will be a very unattractive business in Lagos, because if you capture somebody, how quickly can you run away in Lagos traffic?
Meanwhile, the federal government, while justifying the move, said the relocation of the headquarters of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria and some departments of the Central Bank of Nigeria to Lagos will increase operational efficiency and reduce operating costs. Chiamaka Enendu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In business, the Central Bank of Nigeria has concluded the payment of all verified claims by airlines with an additional $64.44 million to the affected companies. The acting director of corporate communications of CBN, Hakama Sidi Ali, disclosed this in Abuja this afternoon. She said the move is in fulfillment of CBN's pledge to clear the backlog of foreign exchange owed foreign airlines in the country. She noted that the latest amount paid to the airlines brought the total verified amount paid to that sector to $136.73 million. She added that all the verified airline claims had now been cleared. According to her, the governor, Olayemi Cardoso, and his team are committed and would stop at nothing to ensure that the verified backlog of payments across all other sectors are cleared to restore confidence in the Nigerian foreign exchange market. Away from Nigeria, the African Union on Tuesday called for dialogue between the Economic Community of West African States and junta-led countries of Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, who have said they will leave the bloc. The trio's decision to exit ECOWAS, which they announced on Sunday, is a blow to the bloc's regional integration efforts after it suspended them following coups. The AU had backed ECOWAS efforts to restore democracy. The chairperson of the African Union Commission, Musa Faki Mahamat, in a statement called for combined efforts so that the irreplaceable unity of ECOWAS is preserved and African solidarity strengthened. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger's foreign ministries formally notified the ECOWAS Commission of their decisions to leave the bloc in written notices dated January 29. According to the bloc's treaty, member states wishing to withdraw must give a written one-year notice. Hence, the move to quit the 15-member bloc could yet take time to implement, opening a door for negotiations. In sports, Senegal winger Crépin Diatta may face disciplinary action after accusing the Confederation of African Football of being corrupt following the reigning champions' exit from the Africa Cup of Nations on penalties to host Ivory Coast on Monday. "You have killed us, you're corrupt. Keep your African Cup," Monaco winger Diatta said to CAF staff in an outburst overheard by reporters on leaving the stadium in the Ivorian capital, Yamoussoukro. Ivory Coast won the last 16 tie 5-4 on penalties after a 1-1 draw, as Senegal continued a remarkable run which has seen no reigning champion win an AFCON knockout since Egypt claimed a third consecutive title in 2010. Diatta was angry that Senegal were not awarded a penalty early in the second half when Ismaila Sarr went down in a tangle of legs in the Ivory Coast box with defender Odilon Kossounou. Senegal were leading 1-0 at the time after Habib Diallo's early goal, but Gabonese referee Pierre Ghislaine Acho did not point to the spot and did not come across to the pitchside monitor to review the footage. Ivory Coast, who were themselves unhappy the Senegal star Sadiq Maine escaped with a yellow card for a dangerous early challenge on Ibrahim Sangare, went on to equalize late in normal time with a spot kick of their own, which was given after a VAR check. And that brings us to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time.